He was born in Puerto Rico, en un pueblito que se llama Las Marías, y también vivía en Maricao, en Puerto Rico, y le encantaba estar afuera con la naturaleza, eh, just loved the earth and being a gardener. We had a garden in New Jersey for 3 years. We did not buy vegetables. Cilantro, pumpkin, candu, everything, peppers, sweet potatoes even grew one year. Everything he planted grew, no matter what it was. He would talk to his plants. But getting back to his earlier life, he was born in a home. There was only 2 rooms. There was what you call a comadrona. I hope I'm saying it right. And there were 15 children in the family. And the first 3 girls unfortunately died. They were like toddlers. And he was number 7 in his family. And he had a hard life. They didn't have running water. They didn't have a bathroom. He doesn't even describe a stove. There was like hole in the ground y la leña, y ahí era que cocinaba su mamá. Él dejó esa vida temprano y como a los 20 años se vino primero se fue para Buffalo, Nueva York. Primero se fue a vivir con su hermana en Nueva York, somewhere in Harlem. I'm not sure where, but he knew Central Park and all that. Y después se fue a vivir a Buffalo, Nueva York. No sabía nada de inglés. Ordenaba la comida por una máquina dándole los botones hasta que un día aprendieron él y sus amigos que trabajaban en el campo cómo ordenar la comida. Pero hasta ese día comían lo mismo, dándole los botones a la maquinita. Pero a pesar de todo eso, toda esa turbulencia, una vida que no había mucho material, él decía, pero yo disfrutaba jugando en el batey con mis hermanos y mi hermana, y las habichuelas de mi mamá sabían tan ricas. Y un día yo hice una habichuela guisada y ese hombre lloró. Y yo dije, ay Dios mío, tan malas están estas habichuelas porque todo el mundo sabe que yo no sé cocinar. Y él lloró porque sabían a la de su mamá, a la de Mita. Y él dice, estas habichuelas son como las de mami. Y me traíste ese recuerdo. Y a pesar de todo eso que él sufrió en su vida, everything he suffered and went through in his life, because it was not an easy life to come here as an immigrant, not knowing the language, not knowing the culture. And he would tell me, they would say no Hispanic, no dogs, nothing, when they would rent apartments everywhere, they would say that. He got his high school diploma. He got his medical assistant diploma. He had a certificate in welding. He got his CDL license. He became a mechanic of not only trucks, but cars. The wrench that I saw one time was this big. It's like, oh my Lord. And he would be called to get on the highway and go fix those trucks or change the tire. And he could fix anything. The other day on our Honda 2002, he fixed the ignition key. And he said something is wrong with it because it doesn't light up. And even though he had done everything, something needed to be done electronically. And, we called someone and they figured it out. But he had done all the initial work to change that ignition. Got on YouTube, ordered the tool, was the right tool. So again, I say he was an avid learner. And when he passed, he was 78 years old. And he still wanted me to get him another sand cutter because he invented something that's in the garage to cut the wood, and he did shelves for the bathroom, and he would do anything that he invented, and he was always drawing. I said if he would have had an opportunity, probably could have been an engineer because he could draw with such detail. That's is reflected in his paintings. So I give him a lot of credit because many people coming from that situation would have given up. These are the bird feeders that he made. I don't know if you could see it. This is like a branch that he put there so the birds could come here. And then over there in the distance, that giant bottle, he made it. It was like a pretzel holder thing. He made it into a bird feeder, and they love to come there. These two I bought on Temu, but that one he made, and then he put the branch, and they like to come here.
Garage door open.
This was Wilson's favorite place to be, his workstation. He loved to be here. He invented this table. That's what someone said to me the other day. He invented this table and he put the saw in there so that he could cut and make projects. He had just made 2 shelves and he was putting drawings to make me like a plant holder. So he loved being here. He knew where things were. Wilson hated to get rid of anything because he said he might need it. So he always had something, and he would hate to throw things away because he says you never know when you're gonna need it. So he would come here and he would find it in this mess. Somehow he knew where things were. In the hospital, and he was visiting my father, and in Buffalo, New York. He happened to be my dad's brother-in-law. I had never met him before, and I loved his smile. That's the first thing that attracted me to his face, just his beautiful smile. It made me stop. As I got to know him in the setting that was in a hospital cancer unit, what caught my attention was his kindness, sweet words, his support for myself and also my family. He would drive us to the hospital. He was available at all times that we needed him. And what really caught my attention was, believe it or not, he put a mint candy next to my coffee. And that was so sweet because I love my father so much. So this was a difficult process. And to have someone just be kind for no reason, we had just met. But his kindness, his words, that's really what caught my attention. But the best memories I have as a couple is being in this house. If it was a rainy day and we could be here at peace and just be each other. He would be painting at his easel and listening to the rain. He loved to do that. I could be watching my shows or reading a book or talking to my family as usual. And we could be together, yet each have our own space. And it's a gift when you could find someone that gives you that opportunity. And the best memories is cuddling, holding hands to go to sleep, always a kiss good morning, a kiss good night. That's what I'll miss the most. The cuddling. We would just cuddle, like even after church. Then we said, let's go take a nap. While lunch was getting ready, let's just go lay down and take a little nap, a quick nap together. I always took naps by myself, so that was different. I was like, you like to take naps too? He says, yeah, let's cuddle. So those are like my special memories. There's so many. We would play dominoes at my house in New Jersey, and we'd invite the neighbors. And if it snowed, it was even better, because I said we're going to have a sleepover party, but this was for adults. So I would get my titi, Tia Lucy, and I would get my mother-in-law at the time. My ex-mother-in-law would come, my neighbor, my mom, and I would cook food. We would cook together. We always cook together. Bacalao, verdura, and we would have a sleepover party and play dominoes until whenever. And if my mom didn't want to take her medication because she had Alzheimer's, he would tell her, listen, Mama, tómate la medicina. Si tú te la tomas, yo te llevo al casino ahora mismo. And that's the way it was. At midnight, if it wasn't a snowstorm, we get up and go to the casino. And Mommy always listened to him when he told her to take her medication. He was such a giving person. And he had a quiet strength about him. He really didn't care what anybody thought about him. It didn't bother him. Let them think what they want. He was quiet. He was reserved and so giving. If he worked for the elderly ladies in the neighborhood, sometimes he wouldn't charge them. He's like, it's okay. Just think of it as a little gift, because I hope when I get elderly, somebody helps me. So he was always very kind, had such an infectious smile. All the ladies in the supermarket would follow him and say, what cologne are you wearing? And I would just walk ahead and listen. He says, I don't know. My wife bought it for me. And they would just be following him. It's because he wore his cowboy hats, I think. I don't know. But the ladies that took care of my mom, they all loved to talk to him because he would say, Buenos días, ¿cómo está, señora? And always give them a compliment. And Wilson always tried to give compliments. Instead of looking at the negative, he liked to look at the positive. While we were in the ER room, he knows I don't like hospitals, but I have to go, right? Because he's there. And I'm trying to hide that I'm upset. So I kept walking in and out. We held hands for a little bit. He said, Mama, ¿a ti te gustan los hospitales? And I go, ¿por qué tú me preguntas eso si tú sabes que no? I said, I pretend to be my granddaughter. And I said, no, 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 to make him smile and laugh. And he said to me, his last words were, you look so beautiful today. And I guarantee you I did not. My hair was flaring up. And I look a mess. And as I was getting prepared to do this, I realized now that what he was trying to do was to make me laugh, to distract me, so that I wouldn't think and worry about him. So even as he's in the ER, he's thinking about me and not himself. And when they would take the oxygen off, he would smile. And I told him, you're going to be okay. You're gonna be all right. At about 3 o'clock in the morning, after they had put him on a breathing machine, they told me he might not make it through the night. And I was, of course, in shock. I was alone, and I had two girlfriends on the phone that I kept calling. And as I'm laying there, I had not slept like since 5 o'clock, and then he died Tuesday, so I was with him the whole night in the ICU, and I kept hearing the machine beeping, and I kept calling the nurse. I said, "Oh my God, is he okay?" And as he was passing, I just said, "Oh, I just want to close my eyes for 10 minutes." But I couldn't, because I felt this energy and this thing in my stomach. It just wouldn't stop moving. It was like a fluttering of birds. I don't know what it was, but it wouldn't stop. And at that minute, I hear the machine flatlining. And that's, I knew he was going. I don't know. I just felt it in my stomach, his energy or whatever. And I tried to get close to him, but in the ICU, it was impossible because there was always people around him. And once, they came to get me after they cleaned them up, and I ran out of that ICU screaming because this happened so suddenly, and I didn't get to say goodbye or that I loved you. That was the most pain that I felt. So they called me back in, and I told them that I love you, that I can't believe you're gone, and I'm gonna miss you so much. Every day I'm gonna miss our hugs, our kisses. And I just couldn't believe it. And I held his hands, and I laid on his chest, and his chest was warm, and he had a smile on his face. And my sister told me that Wilson had a dream that he was gonna die, and maybe he didn't want to tell me how much pain he was in because he knew that I would suffer. And he told me once, because I would go visit my family, he says, "I have to go first because I can't be here without you. That's not gonna work for me." And I said, "You think it's gonna work for me?" He says, "You'll be fine. You'll be fine." That's what he told me. "You have a lot of support and a lot of love. You'll be okay."
When the sun goes down and the moon's not out and the stars are hiding in the clouds, when the city on a hill, it is dark and still, and a heart rains fall.
Papa, I should have said I loved you more every day and give him a big giant hug. I'm gonna miss you so much. I don't think there's anybody in my life that could replace you. There will not be another Wilson in my life. I know that. He was like my soulmate, even though he was older than me and we had differences, but we complemented each other. He was calm and passive and sweet, and I was loud and joyful and let's go, let's move, let's dance. So it was a good combination. So I would say I love you so much. And I'm going to miss you every single day. And you better teach me how to go on without you, because I know it's not going to be an easy journey, because you spoiled the hell out of me. So that's what I would say. And and that his daughter is finally coming to our home, and that she'll get to see where you lived, and Julio's coming, and I hope to maintain that friendship as time allows. We'll see how that develops. And I want to carry your spirit in me by being brave, because you were brave. You were never afraid of anything, especially bugs. I was, but not you. Who am I going to call now when I scream and there's a big giant bug and you're not here? I am so screwed. And but I have to keep your spirit and me alive by taking care of myself, taking care of my health, and continuing to travel and be adventurous as we were, and see new things, because life is beautiful, and you can't take it for granted. Celebrating him means putting on his music that he loved, like the singers from Puerto Rico, the Jibaro music, the Cuban jazz music, especially he loved Café con Leche, the latest. We thoroughly enjoyed that, and we would play that on the TV, and he loved watching the Cuban dancers. Celebrating his art, letting other people see how talented he was, that there was a whole other side to him. Celebrating him would mean celebrating who he was as a man. He was a caring man, a thoughtful man, a loving man who loved to learn and enjoy life, and he had an adventurous spirit.